Hi everyone, this is Chris with Overclockersclub. I'm back with a cooler here from ID Cooling. It's a Frostflow Plus 280. That's right, it's 280 millimeters long. That's a large space. We've got a couple of 140 millimeter fans to cover that space and move as much air as we can through it. So let's get out of the box and see how well it does. Open here. Let's see what we've got. Here we've got two 140 millimeter fans there, and I'm sure this is the hardware box. Got base plate, some connectors, mounting hardware, thermal paste, and then we've got radiator and pump, nothing else in there. So we've got the radiator, which is again 140 millimeters across and 280 wide. And then we have the pump. And there's the power connector there that supplies the power to the pump. We have a large copper base plate. Should be machined as smooth as it can be to make good contact with the surface of the CPU cover. And go ahead and get this installed on the motherboard and then use the thermal camera to see how well it takes care of the heat. So we've got everything sort of installed. I still have a few more things to go, but you can see we've got the pump itself installed. Got the thermal paste on there. Of course, you do that after you get this protective sticker removed from the base. So we got the pump installed, got the power to it plugged in, the back of the motherboard over here. The fans actually have a splitter, so both fans are powered from one single socket there. And the two 140 millimeter fans are installed, so they are pulling air from inside of the case, and they will exhaust it through the radiator out the top, and it'll be easier to get the thermal camera up there to see what is going on. So now let's finish the installation of all the other components, and then I can fire it up. All right, we got it powered up there. You can see the fans spinning away. It's a little hard to tell here with the light, but there is a white LED, so this does sort of glow around the perimeter there and the little logo. But I got to get some things set up so we can get the thermal testing rolling. Okay, so we got it powered up now. You can see the pump is cool at idle, so there's not much going on. The only real heat is there on the VRM area, where we get a little toasty up there around 46, 47 C. But with no load on the system, there's not much going on up there with the radiator and the fans. Now if we come up on top here and look at the radiator, again, it's pretty cool, around 24, 25 C, right around that range. So we'll put some load on the CPU and see what it looks like. Okay, we've got the heat turned up a little bit there with a load on the CPU, but not an overclock, so we're just running at our standard CPU speeds there. You can see the VRM, again, gets a little warmer. The fan, since this is the intake side, we aren't really going to see much in the way of temperature there. But now you can see the coolant lines there are starting to show some temperature variations. They show up here on the thermal camera more so. And the sides of the radiator are also showing some color. Now I'll go up to the top and take a look. And my guess is, yes, you can see a distinct differential from one side of the radiator to the other. So that tells me there at that end is where the warm coolant is coming in. We're getting close to 30 degrees C there. And it travels down to the end of the radiator, makes a turn, and then goes back down the other side of the radiator, so we should be much cooler at the other end, and we are about 4 to 5 degrees cooler. So now we'll put an overclock on it and see what that looks like. So we have the overclock turned up there, and I really don't expect to see much difference in temperature here since we are still idle. There's really no load on the system, so our radiator is still relatively cool, as well as the pump. Of course, the pump doesn't really show much temperature. And then we look at the top where the exhaust air is being pushed out, and again we have a little differential between the inlet side where the warm coolant is coming in and the outlet. There's not a huge difference. So now we'll put a load on it and see what it looks like. So now we got the overclock rolling, and our temperatures are a little warmer, which is no surprise. We're getting close to 50 degrees C there. And again, this is the intake side, so we won't see a whole lot. You can see the side of the radiator there is a little warmer. Yeah, you can definitely see things are a little warmer on this side here. And there's the coolant line that has the warm coolant. You can definitely tell which one is the return and which one is the outlet. Now let's look at the radiator up on top, and again we have the differential between the right and left there where the warm coolant is coming in, first entering, about 28, 29 C, right around in there. And again the coolant comes down to the end of the radiator, makes a turn, and then swings back on the other half, and we're roughly 5 degrees, close to 6 degrees cooler there. So that's your temperature differential going in. So I would say this cooler can definitely handle the heat. Well, I would say our stress testing turned out real well. With the overclock, we were able to keep the temperatures down to just a tick under 75 degrees, which is really good. So I have to say the fit and finish and build quality of this radiator and the entire system is very nice. The braided lines there for our coolant, they're very nice. They're also robust. They still allow enough flexibility though, so you can move your radiator around if you have to, if you don't want to have it in the exact orientation that I have, or your case just won't allow it. So I would say we have a real nice cooler here. So I would say the thermal testing proves that the Frostflow Plus 280 is a good cooler. Robust, solid, can handle the heat. Comes in around $99, so for $100, sometimes you can find it even less. I would say it's a decent cooler. So again, the Frostflow Plus 280. This is Chris with Overclockers Club. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.